Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I'm going to be giving you some fresh new leaks that John Processor just released and also Macromers released about the new upcoming 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros. These are really exciting leaks and I'm really happy to share them with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first one is going to start off, the first leaks that John Processor released, it's going to start with a new redesign. Currently, they have that really thin little form factor from the MacBook Pros, but John Processor says it will have a new display, better graphics, better chip, more RAM, and way more ports, which is always good to hear. So let's start off with the design, shall we? So the design here says it'll be a revamp. The outside won't really change much, but the inside and the screen will change a lot. It does have this, but the bezels will push up to the edges, and it also may have Face ID. We're not really sure on that. That'll be pretty futuristic. If not, they'll have the regular old Touch ID that we're really used to having on the M1x. And also, he says it'll have SD card slot. They're sure to have MagSafe via this weird USB-C combo, and 2 to 4 USB-C / Thunderbolt ports, and also it'll have a SD card slot, and it'll have an HDMI, which is always good to hear. Now, what I'm thinking, Apple may bring back a little bit more thickness of the MacBook. I'm not really sure. Hopefully, they just keep it the same form factor, because I would be fine having HDMI. But maybe maybe just putting the SD card slot, because my dad's MacBook, I measure the SD card slot, and it is and it can actually fit. It's like 1/4 of the thickness of the MacBook, or 1/5 or whatever. So Apple could very good fit an SD card slot in there, but they're just not choosing to. But also, I'm most excited about MagSafe, because MagSafe has that thing that would slap on and it'll connect and unconnect and all of that stuff. So I'm hoping Apple brings that back. But it's gonna be a little twist. It's gonna have this USB-C thing. I'm not sure how that'll look with all those ports. I think it looks really clean right now with the USB-C ports. I think it looks really clean. But maybe what they're gonna do is maybe put the my ideal Mac would be two Thunderbolt ports, on the side, on the left hand side is my left, and then I'll do 2 other USB-C ports on the right, and then SD card slot on the left hand side, and then a headphone jack on the right where it is, and then maybe for an HDMI. I'm not sure. Maybe that will be for the 16-inch MacBook Pro. I'm hoping it is, because the 13-inch isn't really that. It's a little bit too thin, unless they make it a little bit thicker, which I'm not sure Apple will do. But we'll have to see. And there's also rumored that the M1x will have 10 cores in total, and then 8 high performance cores, 2 efficiency cores, and then 16 or 32 graphics cores options. 16 is probably going to be with the baseline. That's double what we have right now on the M1 chip, which is actually pretty impressive. I'm hoping for 16, 32 to be standard, but I'm not sure. That's probably going to end with the high-end MacBook Pros at 16-inch. But I'm guessing maybe the 16 core graphics may be for the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Either way, that'll be great, because that'll be enough for editing 8K footage, a little bit 8K RAW maybe, I don't know, and then some just really low bit formats. Also, this thing may have, it is rumored to have and also it may have up to 4 terabytes of SSD for the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and 8 terabytes for the 16, which I'm pretty sure they're going to go with. It'll support up to 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is definitely overkill for that amount. If I had to choose a Mac, my ideal Mac would be a 16-inch MacBook Pro with 2 terabytes of storage, 4 Thunderbolt ports, an SD card slot, and maybe a headphone jack, and a mini LED display, Face ID, and a really fast storage. That'd be pretty cool. With Final Cut Pro, of course, because I like video editing. That is really cool. So I think that'll be pretty cool. And also this John Prosser and Minchi Ko said they agreed on it releasing on WWDC. Hopefully that's true, because that would be awesome. Or if not, I'll be fine waiting until November for other people to review. But that would be pretty cool. Having a 16-inch MacBook Pro has 32 cores. That's enough for 8K RAW. Definitely overkill for what you get for that price. Then again, it is maybe a little bit better to just stick with 16. Maybe for thermal throttling. I'm not sure this isn't more thermal throttle, but maybe it'll have some. Maybe it'll get hot like the new iMac, the baseline model that MagSafe just did a comparison on. But still, I'm hoping this thing can remain as cool as it is with the M1 chip right now. but just imagine how good would the battery life be. I may be thinking maybe the bump up the battery life to like 2 more hours, maybe 16-inch maybe up to 4. I'm not sure. Hopefully, but the battery life, either way, it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be a great battery life. One more thing is that these Macs will be really powered M1x chip, and also that they'll have a new redesign on the screen. So it'll be thinner bezels all around and no more ports. So one thing and also one more thing is that it will not have a touch bar. Touch bar will only be available for the higher end models. I kind of miss the touch bar. I wish Apple gave us an option to choose touch bar or not touch bar. I'm personally going with the touch bar because it's really cool. I like it. For me, it doesn't really freeze. Sure, it's kind of annoying reaching down on the screen, but I mean, it's still pretty cool. And I mean, that would be actually really nice to have the touch bar. One thing that I wish Apple gave us an option to have a touch bar or no, maybe add $10 to add the touch bar. I'm going with the touch bar personally because that would be pretty cool. And they're gonna be replacing the touch bar with regular function keys, like you have on the MacBook Air. I mean, just having the touch bar is actually pretty cool. One thing that I'm really looking forward to is that if the M1X can handle Face ID, that'll be pretty cool. That'd be awesome for like logging into your Mac, like Windows Hello. You just open up your Mac and boom, it logs you in. That's actually pretty cool. So one thing I'm really excited about is that 16 to 32 core graphics core options. That seems really legit, and I'm really sure Apple can do that because they're doing since the M1 chip is based on their own architecture for on ARM based chips that they have on the A12 chip, A13, A14. I hope this thing can at 8K because if you're a professional, that thing will be awesome. Plus 64 gigabytes of RAM max storage. It's gonna be way too overkill. It's gonna be awesome, and that's all. And that's all in one little chip. That's maybe, I don't know what, this big, 1 inch big. I don't know, half an inch big. That'll be pretty cool. And also, yeah, that's about it. I'm really excited. The Max feature is looking really great. Well, this has been Danny. See you in the next video.